All right, and we are live. Hello, everyone. Good evening, and a warm welcome to each and everyone here at MUFC Red Devils NCR. This is Delvin, and today I'm joined with Abhishar Bhai, Sandeep Bhai, and Parth Bhai. So, good evening to all of you, gentlemen. I hope you're doing well, and we are here to gear up for the big day. It's the Manchester Derby is finally upon us, and we for once cannot wait for tomorrow to happen and the Derby to start. So before I begin the stream, just want to give all my viewers an insight about MUFC Red Devils NCR is hosting a screening for the Manchester Derby tomorrow at Smash, which is in Dwarka. So we would want each and everyone to join in large numbers to make this a memorable experience, not just for us, but for you all as well. And hopefully the joy and the celebration that we'll have becomes twofold. If at all we get a result tomorrow, a positive result in our favor. So tomorrow, Smash Dwarka, 6 o'clock kickoff. So please get in there by 5 p.m. onwards, and it's going to be fun. And we hope to see you there in large numbers. So please do join us, and please do join us in making this a memorable experience.
And yeah, 1 second, Elvin. Just I wanted to add that I want background team to flash it in our background, like having these screenings, so that people those who would join later on, they can have this the venue and all other details. So we'll have more people joining.
Yeah, sure. With that being said, let us just jump right in. Tomorrow is going to be the 189th Manchester Derby, which is safe to say that we've had a fair few derbies during our time as well and during the times before as well. But none of these derbies will be as fascinating as the one that is going to be tomorrow. Because United are somewhat finding themselves in the crest of a wave at just the right time, whereas City, surprisingly, are on touchy waters. You see them a little bit uncertain, a little dodgy, a little helter skelter. So I mean, I don't think there is any better time that you would want to face Man City at this point in time. So, Parth, let me just get your views on what is the situation on both. What do you think about the mindset of both the teams entering into this derby? Because Man United have won their Carabao quarterfinal and have gone into the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup, whereas City have lost against Southampton. Who would have thought that? And to make things even more interesting, City had not had a single shot on target in their game against Southampton. So, what do you make about this mindset of both the teams entering into the derby? Because at the end of the day, we all know that form counts for nothing in this fixture. Anything can happen. So, what do you make of this current mindset game between both the sides?
First of all, when we talk about Manchester City, they are chasing the Premier League title. Not unlike us, we were hoping for a top four finish in the start of the season, but they are already chasing for the Premier League title. They are around 5 points behind Arsenal, and they do not want to fall apart more, because I think Arsenal will win their match against Spurs, and they would like to capitalize that 5 point lead on Manchester City. So Manchester City should, I think, they would come with a mindset that they have to win this, and we have seen City that whenever some bad results come in their way, they outshines their opponent in the coming matches. So, for example, the last four matches, I think that Manchester City is not that convincing. If you talk about the 1-1 draw against Everton, and the scrappy 1-0 win against Chelsea also. The only one match that I can say that they were convincing was 4-0 against Chelsea in the FA Cup, and the 2-0 loss against the Southampton. But in that match, many of their players were benched, the main players, the main team players, be it Haaland or KDB or Bernardo Silva. They were benched, and I think Pep is cooking something for Manchester Derby only. He wants their main players to be fresh. For example, Haaland also, he's a robot. We all know that he loves scoring goals, and he hasn't scored for the past three games, I think. So he would have that in his mind that yes, I have to score in this match, and he has to perform well. Whereas when we will talk about the Manchester United, I think United is in very good state of mind. They are scoring 2 3 goals for fun, but we are scoring uh, comparatively easier teams. If we talk about City, we have scored against Nottingham Forest, we have scored against Charlton FC. But yes, the tempo is very up, and the players are performing very well. And I don't see that because I just see one thing, that the law of averages coming into place, that if you are winning 10 12 match on trot, and there can be a bad game, but apart from that I don't see United falling apart, because they are in very good state of mind. They want to take the revenge of 6-3 against City. And I think the blood will be up in the players, that they will outshine the City players.
Yeah, I mean, you've rightly said it. You've rightly said about the fact that we will be itching to get one over them, while Pep, in his crooked mind somewhere, must be planning about something which he could use against us, in the derby. I mean, Abhishar, by speaking about the previous game, I mean, it was somewhat of a similar situation. After losing the first two games of the Premier League, we went on a sort of a run. We were getting tough to score against, and we were getting the results. We were getting the clean sheets. But then all of a sudden, in that City game, everything that had to go wrong for us went wrong. We started poorly. We started on the back foot. We gave City all the advantage, and giving advantage to City is literally asking for a death wish. And that is exactly what we did right from the start. And in spite of knowing that, we just let them have their way with us. And I mean, in if it wasn't for Martinez in that game, we could have scored much more. So, what do you think? How do you think we have improved ever since then? Because since that time, there has been a lot of discernible improvement.
Yeah, so first I'll go to City, then I'll come to United. So for City part, if you will see that they have been, lacking in the defensive duties. Their center back pairing is not working as fine as it has been. So what happens is that when your center back pairing is not working fine, then Rodri need to get back to make those back three. So usually Rodri does not make back three. He does all the cleanup part in the midfield. Usually they'll be having one inverted fullback who will come, and Rodri would be up. But because the center back pairing is not working as is, they would be only having Anke and Akanji, and because of that, the Rodri had to go back, and that limits KDB's opportunity to create big chances up front. So it started back from the this thing center back pairing of City, which is impacting gradually in the goals that they have been scoring. So you are just seeing that they are not scoring goals, but they are not even creating big chances as well. So you can say that okay, goal has not been scored, but there have been chances. But now they are lacking the creation of chances for now. And second thing, as for United, if you would see the first after the first couple of matches, when we were getting into run, we were slowly, settling into our squads, settling into our philosophy, ideology on how we gonna play. So even then, when we were winning those matches, I would rather say that we were not convincing enough. But after that City game, what has happened is that now with Casemiro and Varane, we are looking solid at back. At least with those two players available, maybe we could play Luke Shaw as LCB or Martinez, or we can have rolling. But Varane and Casemiro are giving those solidity in our defense. So if our defense is getting sorted, then we are having those. And add to that, we have Rashford's form, which is, I think that he is in his form of his life. He has been in this purple patch previously, but the way he looks now and his finishing has been, it's amazing. It's boon to us. We are still waiting for our forward line to jump get in that touch. But yeah, Rashford form is something which is which will help us in derby, because City will play high defensive line and we're gonna have space to run in.
Yeah, you put in some very good points. I mean, the last time while we played, I think we conceded two or three goals when Varane was injured. and the consensus was that if Varane wasn't injured,
Single,
it
only
would have
one
been.
goal.
He
He has
went
scored
off
only
during
one.
this. No, no, he was
Just
down
before the
during the
second
second goal.
corner goal,
He
he
fell.
went off.
He fell off. Yeah, he was down during the second goal.
Yeah.
He had no defensive involvement in the second goal. So I'm including the second goal as well. So if he was active in any capacity in those goals, I personally do not think that we would have conceded those. But then to each their own opinion as far as it is concerned. So Sandeep bhai, there are some early team news in. So Ten Hag has already confirmed that Dalo won't be playing tomorrow's game. He's out. That means wan-bissaka gets his prolonged run in the first team. Also, Anthony Martial is a touch and go. I'm not really surprised on Anthony Martial in particular because that man is more touch than go most of the season. So something it's not really coming up to me as a surprise, but the biggest news that he's put is I think Weghorst won't be playing in tomorrow's derby in any capacity because I think Ten Hag said that he is close, but he won't be ready for tomorrow's game. So I
He
mean,
is close, but he is not in part in tomorrow's
yeah,
game.
I mean because I think everyone right here knew that I don't think Ten Hag would have played any player unless he has a couple of training sessions in the Ten Hag way. So I think that was there for everyone to know. But then I think Ten Hag once and for all laid down all the speculation to rest by just going out and saying on record that Weghorst won't be playing in any capacity tomorrow. With that being said, how big of a game this is for Aaron Wan-Bissaka? Because let's be clear, Aaron Wan-Bissaka has been very good in the games that he has played.
Okay.
But in all due respect to Wan-Bissaka and his form, they are the type of opposition you expect Aaron Wan-Bissaka to have a good game against. These are the games that you normally more often than not expect these players to be on top of proceedings almost all the time. But a game against City is an entirely different prospect altogether. You do not have rests, you do not have do-overs, you do not have replays. City have such players at their disposal that one split second here and there and they're going to kill you. It's that simple. They are brutal, they are efficient, and they are frighteningly effortless. I mean, they make some of the moves that they have, they make it look so easy that I mean, you just wonder what just happened. Like it's just seconds and they're just out of sight.
Absolutely.
So how crucial do you think Aaron Wan-Bissaka is in this game at least? Because we know that Aaron Wan-Bissaka in general has had good games against Man City in the past couple of years. I mean, 2021-22, no one had a good game against them. So
Yeah,
just let's
that's
get that out of the picture. But in the two previous seasons, in the three games that we have beaten them out of the four,
yeah.
uh, Aaron Wan-Bissaka has been crucial to our success. So, how important of a role do you think Aaron Wan-Bissaka under Ten Hag has against Guardiola's City tomorrow? Keeping in mind that the style that he played under Oli and the style that he's playing under Ten Hag are two different prospects altogether.
So actually, I think even if Dallo was, if Dallo was not injured, of course he would be playing. But Aaron Wan-Bissaka's form has given us a debate to have. If it has given us a debate to have whether he could start ahead of Dallo for such a match. And I was seeing this meme like, what is the capital of Turkey? And they were showing the Messi picture. If they ask what is the capital of France, I show them wan-bissaka picture. I want the a PSG game, wan-bissaka against City tomorrow. So I want him to do well, and I think Ten Hag has brought out that inverted right back role in him. We have seen him coming into the midfield and doing the things that Dallo was doing. His passing has improved, his crossing has improved, and overall, and the slide tackles are just $1 million slide tackles he gives. I think if Grealish is there tomorrow on the left wing, we might have to be a bit careful because Grealish is brilliant at winning free kicks just right outside the box, maybe even penalties if things go wrong. And you asked like what was the difference between that 6-3 and today's build up. I think there's one word to define it. That's Casemiro. Casemiro we had signed him by the derby last time, but McTominay and Eriksen had started. In that game, what the main feature was that Ten Hag clearly told the forward line to push up and press in the forward, but the defensive line kept back, and there was a gap between midfield and defense. And if you remember, City scored against us in counter attacks. They were not even building up; they scored against us in counter attacks, and so there was a very big gap between the midfield and the defense. Clearly, the midfield and the forward were pressing up, but the defense did not keep a very high line. They had fallen back because of already going down 1-0 or 2-0. So I think that would make another difference-making factor that Varane and Martinez, hopefully till now, are both fit to play. Varane is a bit like Anthony Martial. And about the Martial thing, I think it's just a bit of mind games by Eric Ten Hag, that it's touch and go. But Martial did train today, and I think he will be in the squad to face Man City. About Weghorst, he is registered in the Premier League, by the way. If you check, he's registered in the Premier League as a Manchester United player, and officially, legally, he's ready to he's open to face City. So might be another mind game by Ten Hag, but of course he won't have go in the team without any training sessions. But yeah, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, his form has just come into he has just come into form at the right point of time, and replacing a injured Dalot. We were searching for a right back, but Wan-Bissaka stepping up is a big factor for us.
I mean, you were saying that you want the PSG Aaron Wan-Bissaka to come to Man City, the Man City game tomorrow. I mean, the one thing that people tend to forget is that he was embroiled in a sex scandal just a week before the PSG game. So if you want the PSG, if you want a PSG and Wan-Bissaka to make an appearance tomorrow, you just have to hope that by tonight there's a sex scandal about Wan-Bissaka.
We have had enough of those. We have had enough of those, and some people are getting cleared of other teams. So let's not go there.
Yeah. Okay. With that being said, Parthbhai, let's talk about Casemiro now. In throughout the time he's made his first start in the Premier League, and since that first mistake against Everton, which led to a goal, since then Casemiro hasn't put a foot wrong in any of the games. He's been that rock, which gives even the defense as well as our attack that full confidence to go forward and express themselves like they never did before. It's interesting to see how much difference that a world-class defensive midfielder makes in a side. And it's not common. It's common knowledge that United fans have been crying for a central defensive midfielder for time immemorial. Like, it's been ages that we've been crying out for a good central defensive midfielder, and now that we've got him, okay, against a midfield that comprises the likes of Rodri, that comprises the likes of De Bruyne, that comprises the likes of, say, even a Foden or a Grealish, for example.
Bernardo Silva.
Yeah, even Bernardo Silva. These players are the kind of players who like to drift inside, who like to come into central areas, occupy those tiny pockets of spaces. All the players of the same ilk. So how crucial does our midfield of Casemiro, Eriksen, and Bruno also, how important of a role does this midfield have? Do you think that this Manchester derby, for once, is going to be a battle of the midfield? Because most of the times we've always seen that the Manchester derby is either decided in United's favour by moments of brilliance. Our wins against Man City have been moments of brilliance on the counter. Whereas for City, it's just been a case of how many goals we score once we score one. There has never been an old-fashioned battle in the middle of the park between the two sides. Do you think that tomorrow is going to be the day where the game will be defined by how well the midfield plays of either side?
Yes, I feel that that game will be decided by the midfielders of both the teams. First of all, coming to Casemiro, Casemiro is everywhere. He is in the defense, he is in the mid, he is in the attack, he is everywhere. He is assisting, he is providing goals in important moments. He is also in the defense that lets Martinez and sometimes Varane to go forward and play those vertical dangerous balls to Rashford and Anthony Martial. Um, Casemiro's role is very, very crucial. And coming to that defensive role, he knows when to kill the attacks of the opponents. He has done all his life. He has that elite mentality that came from Real Madrid when he was playing there. He knows how to play in those big games, how to kill those attacks, how to throw those dangerous tackles. He knows that uh, how to get that dirty how to do that dirty work that United was missing for quite a few number of years. And we have seen that McTominay was never a CDM, Fred was never your CDM. They were more of a in the box player. They were more of a central midfield player, and that costed us last season. And we weren't winning those crucial trophies because of the lack of a CDM. And I think those two signings, Ericsson in at a free transfer and Casemiro around 70 million euros, was a blessing in disguise for the Manchester United fans and the Manchester United team as well. Because I think those three, Bruno, Ericsson, and Casemiro, makes a perfect match. Bruno runs, he runs always. He covers that crucial spaces. He presses the defense line of the opponent team. Ericsson can provide you that magic moment that you already told, that yes, we are a team that plays against City in those magic moments, that any one specific player will provide a magic, and yes, he will go on to score the goals. And Casemiro, as you said, that he is the cement between the rocks. He will kill the attack before the attack is been made. So the I think the United midfield is more and more stable. And coming to that City midfield, as Abhishar Bhai said, that Rodri is having some defensive workload, and that is why that Kevin De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva is not playing that freely. They are not expressing themselves. So I think that United midfield is on a slightly more stable uh, manner right now, and if it comes to battle of midfields, then I think United has an edge over Manchester City.
I mean, at this point in time, based on previous performances, based on at least the last five fixtures, if we take into consideration, I think City do look a little dodgy. City do look a little flustered. But then once again, it's City, it's Pep. You don't know what's going to happen, and you know what version of their side is going to turn up at any point in time. So, Abhishar bhai, let's talk about one of the very important questions that will be circulating in and around Man United fan circles. And Rohit bhai has also put forward that question, that whether Martinez will start tomorrow's game or no. Now, ever since Martinez has come back from the World Cup break that he had, he's been slowly and steadily been integrated into the side once again. And I mean, I think that's justifiable considering that he's been out for quite a while. But in the previous game, Luke Shaw did not start the derby, Malacia did. And it was very clear that the occasion was too soon and too big for Malacia, and he got totally overawed by it. But with Shaw coming into the second half of that game, we've seen how much of an improvement there was in Shaw. I mean, the Shaw of this season has that intricate and that what you say. I mean, he just has that natural understanding of how the build-up works on the left side. I mean, both are fullbacks currently. Luke Shaw and Aaron Wan-Bissaka have embraced that inverted fullback thing very, very faster than what was expected them to be. So, will you see? Would you, if you put yourself in Ten Hag's shoes, do you persist with Luke Shaw as centre back, or do you play Luke Shaw as fullback and put Martinez back into the centre back? Because it is a pretty tricky situation, because Luke Shaw has been amazing as centre back as well, and he has openly and readily volunteered himself to be centre back in Lisandro's absence. And normally in such situations, when you volunteer and when things go wrong, it does have the potential to blow spectacularly in your face. But do you think in a game that has high stakes as the derby, would you consider keeping Luke Shaw and continue him with centre back, or do you go for the safer option and just put in and just fully integrate Martinez into the starting lineup for tomorrow?
Yeah, so Delvin, as you have mentioned, the in starting 11, I'll not go to place specific, but in starting 11, the competition is between whether Malacia would start or Martinez would start. Though they are having like different positions. If they, like Martinez would be starting, then we would be having Luke Shaw as left back. So I would say that if you know how I'll still not say I never question Martinez professionalism, that he was the first player to turn up in any of the league. I'm not saying about the Premier League. I guess that he has first player to turn up after winning the World Cup, for this World Cup, into his league side. So we cannot question his professionalism or enthusiasm for the where he want to push United. But if he is not 100% mentally and emotionally or physically, you can say physically he is always ready, but I'll say that mentally, being in state, you've been to the paramount. You cannot make anything bigger than winning World Cup with your country in football. So that will slowly will it will take him time to get ingrained into again. But if Ten Hag is saying seeing him as a ready 100%, then we can absolutely go in with the Martinez being as center back LCB. If he is not available in or in not that shape, then we might see Malacia starting and Martinez not starting at the first place. But I think that for for that condition or that point, Ten Hag is the best person to judge. Okay, that how he is responding on the trainings, and we cannot question Martinez. That's for sure. He brings absolute solidity in our defense. But with Luke Shaw's form, we can have a breathing space, that okay, if Martinez is not starting, then also we are good. We can have Luke Shaw as left center back. Added to that, what happens is that when your Luke Shaw is LCB and when your inverted fullbacks fall behind, then Luke Shaw has a tendency to take the ball forward. With his left back experience, he will take that ball forward, and that will also help. With Martinez, we do not see that of much, so we can get into that part again. That but again the full focus of it should be on Ten Hag and his decision making, that how he see the fitness and mental space of Martinez. If he is good, I love to have him in our starting 11 than Malasia.
Speaking of Shaw, Abhishar bhai, let's just continue a little bit. How important do you think that Shaw's ball progressing ability will work in our favor? Because over the past few games, we've seen that Luke Shaw's ability to progress that ball higher and higher up the channels has opened much more possibilities for us to attack as far as our attacking patterns are concerned. So, in a game where Man City do love pressing, they are one of the most fierce sides when it comes to pressing. How important do you think that Luke Shaw's ability to keep the ball with him? I mean, I've barely seen instances where Luke Shaw has miscontrolled or mispossessed the ball. So, how important do you think Luke Shaw's ability to get that ball out of tricky areas and progress that ball that extra 10-20 yards, it works in our favor against a side that loves to press and who loves to play a high line like City?
That will absolutely going to work. I was about to mention this part, that cities struggle with their wing backs. Cancelo not being in proper form, they have to call in Lewis, and then they have to play either of and Stones, what? Oh, John Stones. Yeah, I don't know why I was thinking Ben Stone, due to my overviewing of Manifest. Yeah, so John Stone not being fit will put them in a space where for the defensive solidity, they would not be having much reliance on. They need their fullbacks to come in and protect those spaces. And with Cancelo's form, that is among I would say that for this season, this is almost the best time to play City. I don't know that what the results would be, but with KDB, Haaland, and Cancelo, they all three being their MVP in City starting 11. I don't know that there is any other player, if you will see for this season, any fourth player you could see that being better than them. But they are not in their top notch, is going to work out for us. Like they might find form tomorrow. That is okay with it. I'm okay with it. But with their starting lineup a big being dodgy, it is good for us. So for Luke Shaw, the having the advantage of Cancelo not being in 100% peak is going to help us in the process of getting ball, getting progressed, and getting those runs, and to make space for Rashford to have that run. So that will help us eventually, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, rightly said. Luke Shaw's ability on the ball is going to be very, very crucial for us, especially in the situations when the game is getting a little stretched, when the game is getting a little too close for comfort. So, Sandeep, bhai, let's talk about another key battle which we will look forward to, which could be Marcus Rashford versus Kyle Walker. So, in the previous game, Kyle Walker wasn't wasn't available or wasn't fit for some reason. But since then, Kyle Walker has slowly and steadily come back into full view. He's been fully fit. He's been healthy. Yes, and with that, and he's also had a great World Cup, which automatically means that Kyle Walker automatically becomes a danger man, and facing him is Rashford, who at this point looks at his rampant and relentless best. I mean, I've even in the 1920 and 2021 season, I have never seen Marcus Rashford this locked in. I mean, you can see in his body language and in his face that he means business this season. He is here to take over, and he's not here to take part. That has been his season in a nutshell, basically. So, how important do you think this battle between the two speed demons is, and how much does this have a say in the way United will approach their attack? Because there could be a wee possibility that Kyle Walker could have a great game, could shackle Marcus Rashford, which none of the defenses have done, and then how do we approach the game from there, and how do we move forward from there?
So one thing, if you've noticed, Kyle Walker has recently been playing at right center back, and Cancelo has been moved to the right back position. So I don't know if Pep will use this tactic again for this game, but of course Kyle Walker will be the main man against Rashford. Uh, so Rashford in this form, I think, would run circles around Kyle Walker. It's not being biased. It's not being, like team bias or recency bias or anything. I just think that Rashford is in such a rich vein of form that he will stop and go and stop and go, and Kyle Walker has to put up with that. It's not just the ball over the back of the defense and Rashford and Kyle Walker both chasing. Kyle Walker may win that. Kyle Walker may win that, but you cannot put it past Rashford to get there first against any defender. So what they did in that previous game also, that they put Akanji and Ake in the center back, who are the faster of the center backs in Man City squad, to stop the threat of potential counter attacks. And Rashford and I think Anthony was also there. They were held back. So I think Rashford in his form right now, he has a different kind of confidence right now. He is taking on players, he is taking on defenders, and he's moving past them. And it's not just for goals, it's for creating chances as well. His crossing has been better, his build-up play has been better, and I think with the combination of Martial and Rashford, I fancy our chances against Kyle Walker or whoever is there in the right side of the defense. And coming to your previous question also, I think this is why Luke Shaw is very important for team in the left back position, because Riyad Mahrez is absolutely a Goliath right now. He is in a rich vein of form. His left, right foot both are used for crossing. You don't know which foot he's going to shoot or cross. I think we need Luke Shaw's presence of mind and his experience in big games against Mahrez, and Malacia would be found out if he starts in the left back position. So I think the build up between Luke Shaw and Rashford has been brilliant, because those overlapping passes, when Luke Shaw is not being a inverted or left back, the overlapping runs which he makes, that also creates the problems for defenders. So Rashford will be. I think it won't be that we will find Rashford in Kyle Walker's pocket or anything, but I think Rashford will have a fair chance against Kyle Walker. But taking nothing away from Kyle Walker, he's a brilliant player.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be one of those battles that we would enjoy watching. I, for one, am personally looking forward for that battle because I've always enjoyed pace on pace, and it's something that I personally look forward to in any game which involves a couple of pace players. So, before we move on to our next segment, there are two important news coming out. First, that it's official, Donny van de Beek has been ruled out for the rest of the season, and second, which could be interesting for a number of clubs around. Leandro Trossard has been transfer listed by Brighton at this point, which means that Trossard is available to talk to clubs, and
He's
that's going to
banned
be,
from training ground also.
yeah, exactly. So that's going to be very, very interesting to see what pans out in as far as Leandro Trossard is concerned. I find him to be a very good player, and whichever team he joins, if he does, he'll be a valuable addition to that side. So
Does he play, Delva?
what?
Which position does he play?
He normally plays left wing for Brighton.
Okay, like he can slot into cam also, or
He does slot into cam, but he hasn't been used that way in Brighton so far. He's been solely used as a winger. I think Belgium tried to experiment there, but then it didn't work. It failed miserably in the World Cup. He
Let's-
had a very bad performance
At-
in the false nine slash
Now,
number
now,
10
now
post.
it's Portugal's chance. Now it's Portugal's chance.
Portugal,
Roberto Martinez.
but this is club football. So,
No,
anyways,
I was saying
uh,
Belgium. They tried it with
yeah,
Belgium.
correct. Yeah. So, Parthai, let's talk about the elephant in the room, and that with no disrespect to Erling Haaland. So, I mean, like we spoke about Erling Haaland before that, the man's a machine, the man's a cheat code. But in the recent games, he has been quiet, and he has not been able to find the shooting boots as effortlessly as he was at the start of the season. I mean, don't get me wrong, 21 goals in 15, 16 games is absolutely insane. No one has ever done that at the Premier League before. But do you think, with Martinez and Rafa Varane at full tilt, with Casemiro also there this time to beef up our defenses, with Luke Shaw in a rich way in form, and with Diogo Dalot, no, sorry, Aaron wan-bissaka
Aaron
also,
Wan-Bissaka.
also finding form at just the right time. Do you think that this defense is enough to will this defense stand tall, and will be they able to keep the clamps on Haaland this time around? Because last time around, he laid waste to our defense. Like, he was everywhere. I personally, before that game, thought that the fact that Haaland doesn't track back gives us an advantage. But that man tracked back also. There was nothing that he didn't do in that game. He tracked back. He linked play. He created out. He had 2 assists for fuck's sake in that game, apart from scoring thrice. I mean, what was that? I mean, but so my question to you, Parthbhai, remains that do you think that we are well equipped to stop him this time around, or make sure that he doesn't have much influence on the proceedings of the game? Because the moment you get Haaland just needs a sniff. He can amble around aimlessly for 60, 65 minutes, but in 2 minutes he'll come alive and then just take the game away from you. So it is important to keep him away from the action. The big question is how, and the bigger question is, will we be able to keep him out of action for a sustained period?
Well, for the past few matches that City has played, we have seen that he is stoppable. Be it Everton, be it Chelsea in that 1-1 loss in that Premier League match, or be it the Southampton team, we can see that he is stoppable. It's just that, according to me, Haaland very much relies on the crosses and the balls and the through balls of Kevin De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva and Phil Foden too. And the second thing is that they are not in their best of their forms, be it KDB or be it Bernardo Silva, be it Rodri. They are not having that much touch, because the match that I have seen against Chelsea, the whipped in crosses and the through balls were easily blocked by Koulibaly and Thiago Silva, and easily cleared away by Koulibaly and Thiago Silva. So he relies on the midfield of the City to score those goals. Yes, he will get one or two chance. He will definitely score. But if everything goes well, like in the previous match, Rafa Varane got injured, I think, inside 20 minutes. Uh, so if everything goes well, if none of our players gets injured during the match or earlier in the match, uh, for example, Casemiro or Rafa Varane or Martinez or Aaron Wan-Bissaka, then I think that we will be able to stop him. It will not be that much difficult because he himself will be thinking that yes, he would have been keeping that pressure that yes, I need to score in this match because I am not scoring for the past three match. I was on the bench for the last two matches, so he would feel that pressure that yes, I have to score. That he wasn't feeling at that match that we lost 6-3. He was scoring ample amount of goals in each and every match, two or three goals, a couple of goals here, couple of goals there. He was everywhere. So this time it will be different for him. He won't be easily scoring those goals.
Yeah, I mean, because I mean, there was this one goal where he scored against us, and I mean, when I seen that goal, I mean, this man has no right scoring that. I mean, he's half on the ground, one foot
The
is
cross from
planted on the
Foden.
ground, and that man has just put his leg in, and the ball has gone in. I'm like, ऐसे कौन करता है भाई ये? ऐसे
I mean,
कौन
Daya
मारता है
should have
यार?
done better on that. Daya should have reached
No,
out
no,
better.
that goal was very instinctive. I mean, I could not see that DDG could have done any better. But in our
That
comment section, yeah, which is like, go on, Uzbek.
no, no. I just wanted to add that it was a FIFA type goal.
Yeah, exactly. While I normally approach any Manchester derby with cautious optimism, what I'm seeing in the comment section is anything but that. It's just ultimate optimism in the comment section. So Fleming's Neondo says that we will win tomorrow without a doubt. And Brazzo Posiano also says that it's an obvious win. I mean, I even Daniel Tunde says that United are winning tomorrow's game. I mean, I love the optimism in the chat, guys. Keep that going. Keep it coming. I mean, at the end, it is a great thing to be optimistic. I mean, the United of last season, we would be like, oh, all right, how many goals are we going to concede? That would have been our mindset in last year's Manchester Derby, but this year there is palpable optimism, this palpable excitement. And while I am still cautiously optimistic, I cannot wait for tomorrow's derby 4-1. It's going to be a cracker of a game, irrespective of the result, because the setting is perfect. Uh, it is perfect for us or them to just grab that opportunity that is presented with both hands. Ojasbhai, let's talk about another player apart from Haaland whose influence has been on the wane in the last 4 to 5 games, and that is Kevin De Bruyne. I mean, ever since he's come back from the World Cup, he's not been the same De Bruyne who was lighting up Premier League defenses in the first half of the season. I mean, if you look at him closely, I think that the defenders have somehow found a way to, make sure that he doesn't have that influence in the game. Now, it could either be that he's still reeling from the after effects of that Belgium shambles that went through, or maybe it's just that he's genuinely out of form. So, what do you make of Kevin De Bruyne's seeming lack of input? Because I think there have been a couple of games where he's put in the pass before the pass. And now we all agree that, that is a very crucial part in scoring goals. I think that is something which people do not, you do not take a lot of, we do not take that for as something which is set in stone to say that he had a good game. I mean, hell, we've spoken about players scoring one goal and then saying that this guy's had a disaster class. I mean, we've spoken about Bruno so many times, that man has done nothing all this while and then suddenly comes and has a goal and an assist, in spite of having a totally rubbish game otherwise. So that is what Kevin De Bruyne has been going through these past 4 5 games. Do you think this continues against us? Do you think we have the wherewithal to stop him from having an impact? And if we do not, how do you think we approach the Kevin De Bruyne situation?
Um, See, if like when I used to play sports for my school or my college, my whoever was leading me in the sports team used to always say it doesn't matter on the form of the opposition. Consider them the best team that you're playing against on that day. Consider them like they are the strongest team, strongest rival that you can face on that day. That is the first part, that how United should approach City even if the players are not in form. And second of all, what actually happened with Kevin De Bruyne was that in during the exit of Belgium, he had some, I can say, not say bust up, but some arguments with the players of the Belgium nationality. There were a lot of things being discussed of the future of the team, and that is why the Hazard retirement announcement was so imminent. Like it was time for the senior players to move on, as it was discussed there. So psychologically, I think De Bruyne was affected by that. Uh, whatever happened in with Belgium in the World Cup, but I believe that he's too big a player to just being affected for long because of this. And with all respect to anyone that is playing in the Premier League, I think the past few games, the managers have done the tactics right. They have really done the tactics well against the City. They have marked Haaland in a way. They have stopped De Bruyne, and I think there is always a a time where players can just come out of the cocoon anytime in the game. It happens. It happens so many times. But Southampton, Chelsea, although Chelsea lost, Everton, they just kept the tactics right and stopped important players of City. This is how you win games against big teams. And if you want to really see the form of the City, I think major players were sitting on the bench when Chelsea were defeated 4-0 at Etihad, if I'm not wrong. Haaland and De Bruyne were on the bench. So there is no mentality problem in the City team. It's just that the opposition have been so good. And this is the learning thing that ETH can, discover with these performances, that it is not impossible to stop players of this quality. It will just take some extra efforts and some increased instincts. And if I am ETH, I will be placing my best team. My best team will always have Shaw on the left back and Lisandro on left centre back. And midfield, you all guys know. And the front three is, I think, very doubtful. Marshall is very doubtful for tomorrow. Marshall has not been training properly since morning today. Scans, there are no scans right now, but there is a very slightest of hope that he will recover. So I truly believe that Garnacho is settling on the left wing. So we have to be ready with the front three of Garnacho, Rashford, and Anthony. I don't. I think Marshall will not be able to recover for that. It's a very big loss for us. But again, like everyone saying on the comment section also, it is not impossible to defeat a quality team like that. You just need proper preparation and tactics on the given day.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Martial's injury or Martial's rumored absence doesn't even feel like a loss, or just by to be honest, because I think we've almost rumored half the season without Martial playing. So it's like we're
See,
already playing a man. It's already like we're playing a man down.
no, Delvin bro, I agree with you. Like it's Marshall has been injured so many times that sometimes it doesn't even matter whether he's playing or not. But
Precisely.
with like I don't know if many people will agree that there's a connection between Rashford and Marshall
No, that
that
is
is
there. That is
usually
there for everyone to
that
see.
is usually required against teams like City, because the what I saw in the 6-3 defeat was Akanji was very good against Rashford. Akanji was very solid against Rashford, and if Akanji starts tomorrow, the Laporte and Diaz will be. I think I don't know what is happening with Diaz, but
He's still
Diaz
out.
is
He's
injured.
still out. He's
Diaz
still
is
out.
yeah,
injured.
Yeah, Diaz is still
Yes.
if
out. Yeah.
it's they are playing proper FIFA. City is in proper FIFA mode. They have two teams ready. So I don't know what will happen tomorrow. Even Walker is 32. He runs like he's 20. And Cancelo, with all his bad form, I think he will not be put in the position to deal with Rashford. If I'm Pep Guardiola, I will not put Cancelo on right back because I don't want Rashford to, just go through me. So Walker versus Rashford and Garnacho is confirmed. Otherwise, let's see. I hope Marshall comes back, but if he doesn't, it will be a tough task.
Yeah, I mean, I think you've nailed the hammer on what exactly needs to be done as far as we are concerned, and we still have a lot of chats, and the optimism in the chat is at an all time high. I've never seen a stream chat this optimistic, and I'm loving the optimism at every point. So Anthony Vagoli adds in, "It is time for revenge. Man City have to cry." Yes, I agree. So Brazzo Posiano continues saying that the guys are in amazing form. They are hungry for that win and says that United edged the game 3-2. Abhijit Bhai, welcome to the stream. Abhijit Bhai says that the only expectation from United is that there should be a fight to win. While at this current juncture, City are better than us, but they are beatable. And he also said that we spoke about quite a couple of minutes earlier about keeping the City midfield quiet, and we have to take our chances. I mean, that goes without saying. I think tomorrow is that one game where we cannot afford to miss chances like we always do in the previous games.
Abhijit by saying that we have to take the best opportunity of set pieces. I mean, who would have thought just 6 to
We we
7
had
months
set
later?
we had set pieces exactly. We had set pieces.
If I am Kevin De Bruyne, I will be having bad dreams in this form of, against Casemiro. I will be having bad dreams against Casemiro because right now in this form, I know KDB is a legend; he can do anything anytime. But if I am in this form and I'm facing Casemiro in hot form, I will be really just be
डर
a
का
little.
माहौल है. डर
Darka.
का माहौल है. So
He
Parth
should
bhai,
take
I think
notes. He should take notes from James Milner, maybe.
I'm not sure whether James Milner will actually give him his notes, or he'll give him a leaf. That's how old Milner is. He must be writing his notes in leaves. So Parth bhai, I mean, we've spoken about all. I think we missed one topic about Donny Van de Beek being out for the season. So what are your thoughts on Donny being out for the season? I mean, he went off at a time where it felt like he's finally going to get that extended run in the side. He was looking good. He was playing well. He was once again, you could see that his movement was top notch. He was getting into those key spaces. He was looking to make sure that he's involved at every passing sequence. He was putting himself available for that out ball, for that through ball, that extra spare man in the game. But then again, in that cruel twist, I mean, his time at United has been a case of that poor guy just can't get a break at the moment. I mean, because I genuinely felt at that point that if he had a good game, he would have had an extended run in the team. And he would have been one of those players where, once again, after coming into the side, he puts in a string of great performances and cements his position in the team as well. But unfortunately, that has been taken from him. What do you make of Donny's absence, and how crucial would he have been in a game like this? Because, like we said, City's midfield are free flowing, interchangeable. They keep on moving. They keep on picking up those pockets of space. Something which Donny does expertly well. How important do you think that a player of Donny's profile would have been when he was fit and when he had sufficient amount of game time under his belt?
It seems like Donny is enemy to Paul Pogba because everything that he's doing in his United tenure, it's like the managers are not giving him the time that he deserves. Secondly, he is in the competition with Bruno Fernandes for that attacking midfielder role. So there is no chance over there that he will be preferred over Bruno Fernandes because of what Bruno has done over the span of the past 3 seasons. And after that, when Ten Hag came to United, when Ten Hag was announced, everyone was very happy for Van de Beek because Van de Beek has worked with Ten Hag earlier also, and everyone was saying that it will be a rebirth to Donny Van de Beek. And after Ten Hag come, uh, I think Donny Van de Beek was in Everton, and at there also he was not getting that game time because he was injured over there also. So when he came here, he was injured for the first few matches, and then when he came back, he was grooving. We need a player like Donny Van de Beek, a profile like Donny Van de Beek. He's very important to us. A profile like Donny Van de Beek. because we can't play Bruno Fernandes for all the match, all the 90 minutes every time. And yes, Donny van de Beek is very important to play when a opponent team is playing between the lines or playing in the pocket of spaces like City does. And he can operates and he can pass, he can create those magic moments over there. So I think that yes, we will be having we will miss Donny van de Beek over this season, but it has been more or less a case with more or less a case like Anthony Martial only, that he has been injured so many in so many matches that we I don't think we will miss him that much, because sometimes we even don't know that he's fit for the match day squad until the match day squads arrive. So I think that we won't miss him that much.
Yeah, I mean, he has been on the periphery of the side for so long that at this point, but it is a cruel blow. I genuinely hope that he bounces back, he gets fit as quickly as possible, and has a key role to play for us somewhere down next season, hopefully. But with that being said, Aditya Gadia in the chat says Rodri versus Casemiro is going to be some match. And it is interesting that he points that out because in the previous game, both Rodri and Casemiro did not play in the derby. Both of them were out, and this time is going to be an epic game between the midfielders. It's going to be Rodri versus Casemiro. It's another battle which I'm looking forward to, and it is former Real Madrid versus former Atletico Madrid as well. So there's some added spice in that battle. Madrid derby from the Madrid derby to the Manchester derby. It's going to be full circle for these two midfielders, and it is going to be a cracker of a contest.
Abhijit bhai, I was not saying that United or derbies or free kicks or set pieces. I was saying that we have been genuinely bad in set pieces over the last 2 seasons, and this season we have been genuinely good. So the
We have
opportunity that we are having right now,
not
that set pieces,
genuinely good, but anything
we have been
anything is an
better.
improvement. Yeah,
Anything is an
anything.
improvement over last season. Exactly. We have not been good, but it has been better than last season at least.
Yeah, precisely.
So
You
I
can
was
see.
just saying that
Yeah,
expecting goals from set pieces right now is an expectation. Like last season, it wasn't even under discussion. That's what I
correct.
was saying.
Yeah. Uh, so my question to you, Sandeep bhai. Uh, Now we have 3 games on the bounce in this week. I mean, we have a double game week, which we play City and Crystal Palace, and then we have a very crucial game against Arsenal at the Emirates. Now we have already have a large chunk of fans saying that these 3 games could very well end up defining our season and how we approach the rest of the season. Because if people, I think it's still there. We are the only English club that who are presently active in all
Mhm.
4 competitions. Uh, so there will definitely come a time where we will have to prioritize. There is no two ways about it. There will come a point in a situation where we will have to prioritize. We have to prioritize question. We have to prioritize competitions. Uh, Now we have already the semi-final. I am more than certain that we might make to the finals of that. So I think Ten Hag is going to prioritize the Carabao, which leaves us with the Premier League, which leaves us with the FA Cup, and the possibility of making a deep run in the Europa League, provided we beat Barcelona. If we do beat Barcelona, then the situation becomes interesting. So, do you believe? Just just put in the love for the club aside, or the fact that we
I know.
desperately need a result to get one over the City tomorrow. Just put that aside. Do you take a draw tomorrow if it does happen? Irrespective, knowing that it could set us back in the race for top four, do you take a draw tomorrow or do you need a win? Like, anyhow, you need to win, you need the 3 points. We need to consolidate our grip on top four, or a draw is fine for you.
So right now, given to me the option before the game is played, if you give me a 3-3 draw where I see rapid improvement and we see fight back and we see composure and we see the resilience and the mind games, the mindset of the players. So if you give me a 3-3 draw, yes, I would take it. I would be a bit disappointed with a nil-nil draw, but a 3-3 draw, yes, I would take it. So a 3-3 draw is a different result than a nil-nil draw because of the way you play the game and everything. Because it's all about momentum right now. City losing to Southampton might not be a great deal, but it does affect to their momentum. And we have the best momentum in across Europe right now. We have the best momentum post World Cup. We have won 8 of our 8 games, and like it sets us up for the very hectic schedule till the Arsenal game, which we have. And so you give me a 3-3 draw where we are losing 3-2 and we equalize in the 90th minute. That will give us a different gusto than going through a nil-nil drab, derby. So I would take a point. Yes, I would take a point. And Delvin, I seriously believe that we do not have the squad depth to go to deep into Europa League, FA Cup, and Premier League top four. We do not have. I'm not being negative here. I'm just being a realist. The squad depth is just not there. Even the squad, we have the numbers, we don't have the quality. And after Reading, I don't think we'll be able to get any FA Cup ties against below Championship. Let's say not maybe not Premier League, but below Championship we won't get. Okay, so the Carabao Cup is paramount importance right now because we are the favorites to win it right now. Not getting too ahead of ourselves, given that Newcastle are also there. But I think winning a trophy in the first season of Manchester United, after taking over what was the worst season we have had in the Premier League, where we did not even achieve 60 points and the unrest in the squad, I think that would be a stamping authority of Eric Ten Hag to get a cup run and a cup win. All the Carabao is not that glittery or glamorous, but I would take a trophy anytime because we have not won since for the last 5 years. So I would take the trophy, and I would not. I would say if I had to give up something, I would say I would give up the Europa League deep run because I think top four, getting the top four is more important than sealing our Champions League position in the through the Europa League Cup win. Because right now we have a position that we can go to top four. Chelsea have dropped out. Tottenham, I don't think, are anymore in the race. It's only Liverpool coming back and Newcastle. City and Arsenal have sealed the two spots for the top four, obviously. And the two are up for grabs among Manchester United, Newcastle, and Liverpool. City Spurs have dropped out. So I think it would be a very good way to win the Carabao, go to at least semi-finals of FA Cup or finals of FA Cup, and finish in top four. I would maybe sacrifice the Europa League for that.
It's interesting that you say that because I was going to put my next question was that only that which competition would you drop? I have a pretty different opinion compared to that because I would, if it was up to me, I would have dropped the FA Cup because if we do have a chance of seeing that we are able to win the Europa League, go for it. It's a European trophy. It also gives you direct passage into pot one of the Champions League groups. Second, it also gives you the chance to play the Super League, the UEFA Super Cup. Now, it is a glorified friendly, yes, but it is a trophy at the end of the day. It gives you a chance to win another trophy. Also,
so I was just saying, given the fact that we have Reading, and I know we will win against Reading, and once we win against Reading, it's quarterfinal.
Yeah,
okay, so quarterfinal,
fifth round.
Yeah, that would be that would be the round of 32. Okay.
Yes. So this is round of 32. 5 is round of 16, and then we play the quarter, semis, and the finals. Yeah. So, like you said, that after Reading, it's going to be all Premier League teams, or mostly even max to max Champions League teams. So we automatically know that the competition just increases from there. And once when it's an all Premier League affair, it's anyone's game. You don't know who's going to dominate. It could just take one moment of magic from either side. That is the magic of the FA Cup. That's the beauty of the FA Cup.
Exactly.
Which is why it is the oldest cup competition. So I'm going to ask this question to everyone. Parth bhai, what do you make of this situation? In the likelihood that we make a deep run in all the remaining 3 competitions. I mean, for now, let's assume. I'm not getting ahead of ourselves here. Let us just assume that we have made the finals of the Carabao. Let us assume. these three competitions, which one do you choose to drop and why?
Delvin Maya, as you said, that I will also choose to drop the FA Cup for obvious reason that Europa League is a European cup. It's a European prestige, and everyone wants to win that prestige, and that will come up with the chance that we can sign many new players, we can attract many new talents with that European cup. I don't think that EFL Cup or Carabao Cup will count that much as a trophy. Yes, it will end our trophy drought, but it doesn't count that much highly rated as a trophy. Secondly, it gives the direct entry to UCL Pot 1, and thirdly, that it also gives us chance to win another trophy, that is UEFA Super Cup, the playing against the UCL champions. So yes, I will drop the FA Cup. And yes, what Sandeep bhai said, that we doesn't have that squad depth, and we are lacking that in the midfield and in the forward line as well. Defense, I think we have that depth, some layers of depth, but I don't think that that much depth is in our midfield and in our forward lines. So I feel that we have to get we have to prioritize the tournaments. Yes, we need to finish in the top four of Premier League. We have to go deep inside the Europa League. We have to win the EFL Cup. So yes, I think that for me, I will drop out the FA Cup.
Oh, just by same question to you also. Your thoughts on which competition you skip, or do you believe like screw it and just let's make a deep run and all?
See, Manchester United ways to just go deep wherever you can. Yeah.
That's
But
what she said.
uh, a proper tactician like ETH would know which cup to prioritize, which tournament to prioritize. And see, if we go and win Europa, we will face Real Madrid in the Super Cup. And that is like, I don't know, that's not a
That's a
doubt at
given.
all.
That's a given.
So, see, if this happens that we have to choose between tournaments, we are going in the right direction. That is a valid point. If there is a thing that is going across the mind of the manager and players that somehow we have to prioritize, again, everyone has repeated the point. We have the quantity, we have the quality. That's a very good point going on for a couple of months now. But what you have to know is that, like Delvin also said, that matter of moment. Like Lingard scoring a winner, and last time we won the FA Cup. Sometimes it's the moments that win you the cup, the trophies. And any manager in the world, any player in the world would like to win all of it. So what do you do is just take the best out of every game that you just go there and give your best. Some days the team will be better than you and you will get knocked out. Don't take it personally. Just give your best. Like I personally believe, and most of the people will believe right here, that Barca is currently top of La Liga. Okay, I know it's Barca and renovation, but Barca is playing really well in La Liga. So they will. It will not be an easy tie. Once, once I think the only positive thing that is happening to us this month is that we've got Reading. Now Reading will clarify everything. It will give us an opportunity. Like Reading goes out of the race. I think we are comfortable on that. Now comes the Barca tie. And Barca tie will decide many things what will happen with our future. And Carabao Cup is a cup like we have won it in 2016. City have won it 3-4 times. No one really remembers it. It is a good opportunity to win, but no one really remembers or give any
जब तक
importance to it.
कार्लिंग कप था तब तक फिर भी ठीक था.
But
Oh
again,
yeah, you're actually saying it right. I genuinely forgot Liverpool won it last season. Like seriously, like मुझे पता ही नहीं था कि लिवरपूल पिछले सीजन जीता था ये.
यार सिटी को हरा के वो भी.
नहीं चेल्सी
like,
को. चेल्सी
चेल्सी चेल्सी शायद चेल्सी
like,
पेनल्टी
like
हुआ था फालतू मैच.
Shootout में.
हाँ correct.
yeah, it really doesn't matter who wins the Carabao. To be honest, it's a good trophy in our cabinet. But I think the big three heads are European, FA Cup, and Premier League. And we should be a little bit positive that we can enter into title race if we have a good week this time in the Premier League.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough, Ojis bhai. I think what you've said is actually correct. As Man United, our aim should be going far into the competitions that we are part of. But again, like you said, if we are thinking about prioritizing and choosing our competitions, there is a chance that we are actually going the right way, which has been the case. I think the last time that that a manager did this was Jose Mourinho did that when he saw that he had the chance of winning the Europa League. He tanked in the Premier League. I think we
Yes,
were yeah
it
we
was
were
a
in the midst.
yes, it
Yes,
was in
yeah,
the press conference also that
yeah,
why I'm saying weaker. My second team in the last three games of the Premier League was that I've completely focused on the Europa League to enter into
yes.
Champions.
That could have been a very risky gamble because we finished sixth in the league that season, but it worked in our favor, and that was only because Jose Mourinho decided that he's going to put all his eggs in the Europa League basket. So we've spoken everything there is to be spoken about. We've spoken about our team. We've spoken about the opponents. We've spoken about key contests that could very define the very foundations of this game. Before I take predictions, Brazzo Posiano, I have to give him a special shout out. This guy is being positive ever since he's been part of the stream. So shout out to you, Brazzo.
It's
Uh,
infectious, man. It's
yeah,
infectious. Even I'm pumped up now.
your positivity has genuinely been contagious. I mean, you can see Otis Bhai's face also. He's brightening up now, looking at your messages. So he says that there's nothing to worry about. City drew against the Everton team that we smashed. There is no to draw. It's a clear win tomorrow. He's that confident, I think, and I'm normally cautiously optimistic, Brazzo, but reading your
There was,
chats,
a, there was a game. There was a game in 2016 where we came back from the international break against City and we lost 2-1. And Kevin De Bruyne and Zlatan Ibrahimovic and I think Ian Nacho.
Ian Nacho, yeah.
Yeah. And that is why I'm scared of Pep. That day United was better. That day United was better. We played better. We had the confidence. There had some tactics. Pep Guardiola always has some tactics up the sleeve. Seeing the positive form of United also, we should be positive. But remember, Guardiola is a very, very cunning manager. Very cunning
And
manager.
considering the fact that they played that game with 10 men, considering that Claudio Bravo was absolutely useless, the fact that they still removed a result at Old Trafford is a big thing, anyways. So yeah, I think once again your insight has been very spot on, Ojas bhai. And without wasting much of time, let's come to predictions. So Sandeep bhai, what are your predictions? I mean, you already said that you don't mind a 3-3 draw than a goalless draw. But
Yeah.
apart from that, what do you think would be tomorrow's prediction as per you?
Draw नहीं होगा हम जीतेंगे. I think it will be a. I think tomorrow is a quintessential classic Manchester derby or the Baldy derby if you can call it. I think it will be a 4-3 or a 3-2. It will be a classic. What a match that will be.
Goals galore. All right, Parth bhai, what are your predictions to this game? Are you going extravagant with the goals? Are you rationing your goals? What is your? Are we going to see something like a 6-3 in our favor, or what is it?
No, not a 6-3 in our favor, but we will win. I am very much optimistic in that because of the kind of run United is on. I think it will be a 3-1 or a 3-2. Uh, and I'm very much optimistic that it won't be a draw because a draw will break my heart because it's the best time to play City. The main players are not in form. Some players are injured, and they are not having a good run of matches. So yes, 3-2 or 3-1 in favor of United.
Yeah, Ojis bhai, what about you? I can see
Main
a big
players are
smile
not
on your
in
face.
form. Main players are not in form. Guardiola is always on form. Guardiola is always on form. And to be honest, I see a very scrappy win if possible because tomorrow is a test of mentality. And I think a 2-1 win will somehow give the Man City the dent that they are unable to score goals against us, which they did the last time. And they will also have a dent that we are able to push them over and get to a closer position to top two.
See, if it is a 2-1 win with Rashford and Shaw scoring and assisting, I will be the happiest because I have both of them in my FPL team. But if it is not either of them, then it's going to be a very bad result for me, in spite of the fact that we take 3 points in the Premier
And
League.
even if
It's at a very bad time also. It's Saturday 6 p.m. मतलब वीकेंड
Never
पूरा
back,
खराब हो सकता है या वीकेंड मस्त हो सकता है.
never, and just like the late Queen Elizabeth says, never back the early kickoff. So I think everyone over here is rooting for a win, and the only reason why is Brazzo. It's because of you. Your optimism has won out well and truly on all of us,
Delvin,
and
what's
that
your
is
prediction?
it's a 1-0 or a 2-0 win for us. 1-0 or a 2-0 win. I see us keeping a
We
clean
won't
sheet.
concede.
Yeah, I see us keeping a clean sheet. Yes.
if we keep a clean sheet tomorrow, if we keep a clean sheet tomorrow, it's like uh, against clean sheet against City, we are in title race. Clean sheet against City, we are in the title race.
कल
Yeah. So
कल इस मैच में नदियां बहेंगे.
अभी खून की नदियां या पानी की नदियां वो तो देखना पड़ेगा. बट
पानी छोड़ो, बियर
नदियां तो
बोलो.
खुशी के
नदियां
आंसू,
बह-
खुशी के आंसू.
with that being said, we are here. It was an amazing stream. Thank you so much, Ojas Bhai, Sandeep Bhai, Parth Bhai, and a special shout out to Abhishar Bhai who joined us in the stream earlier. Thank you so much for joining me and talking about the derby tomorrow. We are always active. We've been constantly putting out content on a daily basis. So do like, share, and subscribe. Do show us love, and thank you to all who were part of the chat. Bradzo in particular, Abhijit Bhai also, Rohit Bhai, and the likes of Anthony and Shriti, all of you guys. Thank you so much for taking out your time and putting in your 2 cents about the game and your insights about it as well. We are active on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Do drop us a follow there. Do like, share, subscribe once again. And I say this every day on every stream, and I'll say this today as well. Every day is match day on our official United WhatsApp group. You do not want to miss an opportunity to be a part of that. We are active 24/7. And with that being said, once again, a gentle reminder for everyone: United versus City, Dwarka, smash. There's a screening. Do join us in large numbers. Do help us make the event a massive success. And alongside that, we also have a website which is an immersive fan experience for everyone. So do go ahead and join us there as well. With that being said, this is Delvin along with Sandeep, Ojas, and Parth wishing everyone good night. Do take care of yourselves, and hopefully we see y'all tomorrow after a win and with our faces bright with celebration and smiles. Till then, it's good night.
If it's a clean sheet, it's one bottle, whatever Delvin asked for.
Water, sparkling water.
That water Virat Kohli has. Virat Kohli has
Yes.
a bottle of.
Yes. All right. With that being said, this is us signing off. Do take care of yourselves. Goodbye. God bless. See you all soon.